I wanted to ask you something. Sit down for a minute. Jungkook mentioned him to sit down and said, Yes, ask. He placed the bag on the other chair and spoke seriously. Since when do they have disease of mumbling alone? I mean, mumbling in his sleep. He took a sip of tea and looked at Taehyung, who was on the balcony, and smiled at Jungkook. Jungkook Hyung, this is not a disease. It is Hyung's nature. Whatever good or bad happens to him, he talks about it in his sleep. If there is a fight in school, the same fight will be repeated all night. If Hyung get fast and receive a trophy, he will see the trophy in his dream and give a good speech and burn his friend in his dream. This is a habit. We consult many doctors. A doctor said the same thing. This is a natural habit that Hyung have. Hun told him seriously, and Jungkook was looking at Hun with his mouth open. Hun suppressed a smile that Jungkook's expression were worth saying. He paused his lips. Hyung, can I go now? He stood up and said happily, Yeah, you go. After Hun left, he started looking toward the balcony again. They was busy talking with Taehy while drinking his tea. He started looking at Taehyung, smiling expression. They had burst into laugh at something Taehy had said. When Jungkook looked around, there was no one. Taehyung laughed softly. There is a village, not a city. He spoke loudly to Tae, who would stop laughing and stare at him. He says the attacks don't laugh in the village or not in the city. They said, to which he started staring at Tae. This boy had answered for everything. Lisa, who was going out, stopped in shock. Seeing Jungkook sitting alone, she came closer to him. Jungkook looked at her in shock, and a look of disgust suddenly appeared on his forehead, which Lisa had felt very well. I need to talk to you, she said, fixing her eyes on Jungkook's face. What do you want to talk about? Hurry up. I'm busy. Was still drinking tea and looked at him. But Jungkook's eyes were on Taehyung, standing on the balcony, was leaning against the balcony and looked at two of them. There were curiosity in Taehyung's eyes, which made Jungkook's lips turn into a smile, on which Lisa was shocked and started looking at his smiling face. When Lisa saw him, they pressed her a smile and waved his hand to Lisa. Miss Lisa, you had to say something to me. If there is nothing to say, please go. I like to drink tea alone. He spoke with a straight face. Lisa looked at him angrily. I want my daughter. She spoke angrily. Which daughter? Jungkook spoke to her in a cold tone. Taehy. She is my daughter. I want her. I want her to live with me. You have already married another boy, so give me my daughter. Stepmothers never like stepchild. I don't want that Taehyung to scold or hit my daughter. Lisa said angrily. Talk to me, with a low voice. And the second thing is, which Taehy you were talking about, whom you never seen again? Whose longing you could not feel. If she had addressed you, you would have scolded her. Wow, stepmom. My daughter has only mother, and that is John Taehyung, and I didn't consider anyone else as his mother. You can go now. I have no free time for you. Jungkook said in a cold tone, which made Lisa angry, while he had cooled the soul of Taehyung, who was standing on the balcony and listened to them. They smiled, with his hand on his lips. Taehy mother, John Taehyung. Taehyung murmured. They was also singing. It seems as I'm in the air. I have found so much happiness today. They was mumbling when he bumped into Jungkook's chest, who was coming from the front. Jungkook, who has been startled by seeing him coming from the front, yet even realized that they had fallen on top of him. They had screamed. Taehyung placed both his hands on his chest in his pounding heart, while Jungkook's hands were on Taehyung's waist. They both were gone to a different place after seeing each other's face. They would start to move away from him when Jungkook held Taehyung's waist tightly. They started looking at his waist, where Jungkook's hand was holding him with full right. What was happening here? He spoke seriously. What? They tried to move his hand away. You were running and also singing a song. He spoke with fake seriousness. I I was just walking. I had a heavy breakfast in the morning, so I ran and digested. Seriously, wifey, Jungkook said in a smiling tone, on which they noted it said. Jungkook slowly removed his hand from Tae's waist and looked at Tae with smiling eyes, and turned around. Taehyung stood there with his hand on his heart. They bit his lips and looked at his wrist, where Jungkook had placed his hand. Why is my heart beating so much? Am I going to have a heart attack? They mumbled in worry. Grandpa, what happened when the heart starts beating fast? And why does it make noise when it beats? They sat on the bed next to Grandpa and asked him like a friend, who was smiling while reading a book. While Jungkook had come to the grandpa's room, stopped outside after listening to Taehyung's innocent question. I think I have a heart problem, and I am thinking of reporting it. You know, Grandpa, the hospital people had thrown me out. They say, who takes so many leaves? You stay at home and rest. They have insulted me. Is there a shortage of hospital for an intelligent boy like me? I can get into any hospital I want. After all, I'm a foreign degree holder. They said the conversation and now it's takes somewhere else, on which Grandpa and Jungkook standing outside. I'll only take a cold breath. Jungkook will get your job whenever you want. After all, he's such a big businessman, Grandpa said proudly, while their heart started beating fast again at Jungkook's name. You didn't tell me. Why? My heart started beating fast suddenly. They spoke in an irritated tone, as if it was all Grandpa's fault. In whose name does my son's heart beat? Grandpa spoke in a smiling tone. I won't tell you this. First, you tell me why it beats so fast. Taehyung asked while Jungkook came in, shaking his head when Grandpa smiled at him and they stood up. After looking at him, the heart had made a different noise again. You came so early, they said in surprise. Why? Do you have any objection? He raised his eyebrows and said, to which they shook his head in negative and shrugged his shoulder. Grandpa, are you coming with me at tonight's dinner invitation? He was asking him for confirmation. Grandpa looked at his face of both of them with their lip pursed, thought for a moment and shook his head in negative. Why? Do you agree to go yesterday? He started asking him seriously.